On the raid today, we're going to talk about the breakdown of building your own confidence and mental fortitude. And our guest today is enthusiastic about great barbecue, Mexican food, and survival. He enjoys letting loose, playing video games, and trust me, never accept a challenge if he challenges you to injustice. He also enjoys a good laugh and chopping it up with friends. He has the strongest interest in survival skills, shooting drills, things like that. Great military knowledge of his own, and honestly, a well-rounded good guy. He enjoys doing podcasts that explore people's thoughts, perspectives, and so he loves to see how people think. Please help me in welcoming Texas Sun. Tonight, he does not have his camera on, but it's one of those things that we can work around. We're going to still do it. And also with us today, we have Josh, who's also known as the Giver 199. He's a Twitch streamer. He likes golfing, hiking, working on his Mercury M100, which is a truck. It's a classic old truck. He also likes playing video games. He likes games like Repo, Call of Duty, Schedule 1, The Last of Us, and he likes all kinds of music. So we say he's polyamorous. He likes hanging out with friends and on Discord and playing games together. But yeah, without further ado, let me introduce you to Texas Sun. Texas, you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
All right, awesome. Give us a little snippet about yourself. I gave you a little bit of intro, so give us a little bit about who you are.
Man, you sound like a pretty good doomsday, brother.
What, you're not?
Quad prepper, not quad prepper. Now, a little bit about me. I've always loved video games. I played them since I was a kid. I didn't really get involved with or Discord until probably 6 or 7 years ago. I've been trying to build friendships with different communities, get to know people. Like Raider said, I like to pick people's brains. Just an interest. Real curious to see how this goes.
Okay. All right, Giver, or Josh. I'm so used to calling you Giver, but Josh is a new thing for me. But yeah, Josh, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I am the one Canadian here, probably. Most of you know me from Canada. I just, I'm working lots right now, trying to get a new position actually, and trying to open up to new stuff. I really enjoy my old truck. Like, I love that thing. Love getting out in it. It's an eyesore, but at the same time, it's such a nice thing to get in, to get around in. Moving.
Yeah. Yep. And as always, we have the suave, intellectual, eloquently spoken Mr. Savage.
I wouldn't say well spoken, but I'm here.
You're more well spoken than me. I stumble over my own words because my brain goes 100 miles per hour.
Same here.
Hello, precursors, everybody in chats, because we are live streaming this right now as we are recording it. The merch store is up. If one of my mods will hit exclamation merch, it's up. It's live. It's going. Thank you, Miss Mistra, for doing that merch store for us. It's fucking awesome. Also, first episode back is live on Spotify. I don't have a link for that yet. I'll put it in there. Ran into a couple speed bumps. I was up all night. As some of y'all know, I was up all night and working on everything, making sure when the episode launches, there's going to be no hiccups. So it was kind of crazy. I didn't go to bed till 10, 11 o'clock this morning. And yeah, I'm fighting with Amazon, Apple, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. But I got the links up, so they're coming. They're coming to y'all. It's already up live on Apple. So you don't have to worry about it. It's all live on Spotify. So if you got Spotify or Apple, go ahead and check out that. Just join the raid with the new logo that's in our little right corner right there. So today, we're going to talk about, what makes you lack confidence? How do you gain it? How do you get yourself mentally prepared to get back to who you want to be or who you should be? So today, we're going to talk about, when did you realize you lacked the confidence first? So we're going to go around the room. I'll start it off. I realized I lacked confidence at a young age, and as I got older, it kind of made me feel, I'm not outspoken. I'm not charismatic. I don't like talking to people, everything like that. I was really isolated, and I wanted to be that way. All my friends were outgoing, awesome, and just wanted to, do everything. And it took me about a couple years to do it. And I literally said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to join football. And I'm from Texas, where football is a religion. And I'm pretty sure Texas Sun can tell you about that football is a religion here. So yeah, I dove into that, enjoyed it, loved it, and kept going with it. And I got my confidence back. Loved being on the field, loved doing everything about it, and loved every aspect of it. So much in my life, I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I had a best friend who's Wade, and he was the guy. He was that guy, the guy you wanted to be. He was confident, great with words. His mannerisms, every little aspect of him made you want to be him or like him. Well, he was my best friend, and he accomplished a lot. We graduated high school. He went to college. He played football in college. Then he went on and did more. He said, I want to help people. So he started doing a little bit of conservative work, everything like that, a lot of stuff with mental health. And right when he was on the verge of doing something that honestly needs to be done, still needs to be done, it was getting the VA and the civilian healthcare systems together so that veterans could easily go into anywhere, and their records there, everything helped them there. And he was on the cusp of something that needed to be done years ago. But unfortunately, he passed away. So it was horrible. It sucked. But he helped me see that I could be more. He gave me a goal to strive for. And now that he's gone, I don't feel as lost, but I feel lost a little bit because he's not here. But I want to do more for everyone. And he inspired me. He inspired me when he was alive. He inspired me now he's gone, and makes me want to do more and do a lot more with everything I have. It went from that to join the military, and I had my confidence up then, thinking I was Billy Badass when I was joining. But I came to find out not every person in the military is Billy Badass at all. And you learn that, and we just make it, we make it known that, we do our job. We don't want any glory. We're good. Until you get us out of the bar. Might be a little cocky, but that's enough from me. Mr. Savage, what about you? When did you feel like you lacked confidence and
Lacking the confidence, huh? I would say around middle school, I started getting bullied a lot, and that's when I was a weird kid in high school or middle school, and then somewhat into high school. Kind of learning myself in a way. But either way, I was getting bullied a lot, and then I had to kind of learn to defend myself, kind of build that confidence to stand up for myself and kind of go from there. And that happened when I fought back. The bully comes in, he does this thing, and I said I had enough, so I fought back. We fought. I beat him down. Ended there. And we didn't become friends or anything, but we respected each other. Moved on and moved on from there. And then after that, I kind of, as the years went by, I graduated high school, went to college a little bit. I kind of learned that a lot of the problems today is that people let others kind of decide for them and not have confidence in self. You get, judgment and all that from other people, and you let that affect you. kind of learned early on to not let that affect me. I kind of don't really care what other people think of me. I kind of let myself be my own critic. I have a lot bigger confidence than I did when I was younger, and I kind of just go with the flow of the situation. I tend to not back down. I tend to just do what I think is right, and then I kind of go from there. So for me personally, I just kind of learned to basically be yourself and don't worry about what others think of you. So, yeah.
Cool. All right, Texas, this is what I've been wanting to hear. When did you realize you lacked confidence?
Why have you been so patiently waiting on this one from me?
Well, the reason why is because you put off this thing about you, this aura about you that you don't give a fuck. I'm Billy Badass. Even though you don't do it on purpose, I'm saying that you kind of get it off. Like, I don't give a fuck what you think or anything like that. I'm going to do this. Y'all can follow me or not. Or, get the fuck out the way. That's kind of how your attitude puts off sometimes, even though that's not who you are. You're a pretty awesome guy, pretty sweet guy, to be honest.
Well, I'm sorry, I sound like a cocky jerk, but that ain't how I mean to come off. I'm a firm believer there's a difference between arrogance and confidence.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I have a mixture of a story of my own mistake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had confidence really up until middle school. You really just did really what is
Yeah.
confidence. And I was a tiny kid in middle school. I was probably about 6, 5, 7, maybe. Like 120 pounds one day, sitting in my own business, eating this bigger kid from a couple grades ahead of me. That's my lunch on me and pushed me out of my chair. It only happened that one time, but that's all it took for me. I have sort of
Okay.
a temper.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't
So
say.
I didn't do anything there in the cafeteria. But that's about the time I moved in with my dad. My dad was in the Marine Corps, which he was a
Yep.
I don't really know what else I need to say about that.
Elaborate a little bit about that, because some people don't understand the aspect of being raised by the military, especially a Marine that's a grunt that used to doing everything the hard way, going out in the
Mm-hmm.
field all the time. So everybody else that's like, "Oh, I'm off this weekend." Grunt's like, "We got the field." So when y'all are off, we're dealing with the suck in the field, getting rained on in the heat, everything like that. Just roughing it instead, and then coming back on Sunday night, Sunday morning, realizing Monday I still gotta go to work and do my normal job. No matter what I do, I still gotta grind, still gotta do my grunt job, and not have to worry about I don't get to have a good time until you do get to have a good time, and then they cut the fuck loose. I mean, cut the fuck loose.
Yeah, I can. I'll elaborate a little bit in my story. I'll kind of give more detail, not to go over it.
Yeah.
So that's about the time I moved in with my dad, and like I said, he was a grunt. And I told him what happened. He wasn't mad at me. He wasn't mad at the other kid because I was probably like 12 at the time.
Yeah.
I asked him. I said, "Dad, can you teach me how to defend myself?" Say my exact words. Can you teach me how to fight? And he said, "Before I teach you how to fight, you need to learn how to take care of yourself." I was so confused what that meant. And that's where my thing with survival comes in, is because he would take me out to the woods every weekend. And he was never far. He made it seem like he left me out there and abandoned me. But he told me, like, in my mid-20s, I was literally 100 yards. I went out there and learned survival skills, how to take care of myself. And that was kind of toughened me up a little bit. Thinking you're out there on your own and, like, this is reality. And it's not easy. So when I finally got a hold of that and he saw that I could take care of myself, he enrolled me in martial arts, and that's where I learned judo and jiu-jitsu. And about after, I want to say 6 months after learning martial arts, the same kid came over to my table, tried to dumped the lunch on me again, and it did not end the same way. The lunch ended up in his face, and he ended up on the floor, and everyone was laughing at him, and I felt good about myself.
Yeah, that's a big confidence boost whenever you get from being the oppressed to being actually free of that.
Going from the sheep to the wolf is what.
Yep.
Is how,
That's
how
awesome.
it's felt.
Dude.
You know, I've always, ever since then, I've been building my confidence. Don't get me wrong. Everybody has their setback. You don't do good at something, you kind of get disappointed or upset, you know. But it was really just the way I was raised that any obstacle can be overcome. And that was the defining moment for me, is when, well, I say it's kind of related to Mr. Savage, the bully in his place. That was the end of that.
Yeah,
That was the
it's a good,
starting moment.
good confidence boost, like Raider said.
Yeah,
Especially when you stand up to your bully. It's like a pivotal moment for a man, even some women too, but for a man especially, it's like a pivotal point in their life where it kind of makes your character early on.
Yeah. All right, Josh, let's hear about your time, man.
All right, so definitely I didn't have any confidence in middle school, like none whatsoever. I was bullied, I was picked on, I was the weird kid in the corner. Just I wasn't normal. I have ADHD back then and I didn't know it though, so it was a big feature to that didn't help. I was put on medications and I kind of settled down a bit, but it just I didn't feel like myself on it for sure. So I didn't have a lot of confidence. I sometimes still I don't, but I have been getting a lot better. With when I got my job where I am now, I gained a lot of confidence there. I've gained a lot of confidence by obviously just meeting some of you guys around here. Like it's a huge boost when you meet new people like that there who you can talk to about anything and come to when you need to, right?
Yeah, I got that.
But I've definitely been through the ringer because my parents were separated when I was a young age, and that really I think affected my confidence too because you don't know where you're gonna be anymore, right? Am I gonna be with my mom or my dad? And at that point, I lived with my mom for a bit, then I got moved to my dad's completely, visiting my mom every other weekend, right? So that was very hard on me, and I think that kind of created who I am today, where I still don't have confidence sometimes, but I have gotten a lot better.
Okay.
That's good.
That's good, man. That's good. Okay. So we heard basically who showed me, how I built up my confidence and everything like that. And we heard Texas. Savage.
Yes.
Who actually showed you how to be confident? Where you saw you like, I need to be more confident.
My dad definitely helped with that. Let's see. When growing up, I'm the same way you were, Josh. So it was the opposite though. So I live with my mom, still live with her today, but during the week it was my mom, and then the weekends it was with my dad. But anyways, so on the weekends, I'd be with my dad, and he kind of showed me how to fight. Basic stuff, but he's a really good fighter, and he showed me how to defend, how to block, a good strong stance, a good ground, how to defend yourself, attack, defend, all that stuff. And that he was definitely up there and giving me confidence. I looked up to him a lot growing up because one of the reasons why I have long hair is because of him. He has long hair, and he's a big inspiration to me. He's a metalhead, obviously he's my dad. So, he was kind of like my hero growing up. I had other people too, but I would definitely say that he was, for like a man's perspective, he was definitely my person I looked up to for confidence.
That's awesome. Awesome. Let's see here. Excuse me. Josh.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick on you a little bit there.
All right.
So, in the past, what has been the thing that drains your confidence more than anything? Not present, in the past, before you got to this point in your life.
In the past, the part that really drained my confidence was the constant bullying, that having people always on feeling like they're pushing me down, it doesn't feel great, and it really just I had nowhere to go, I'm not a fighter. I'm not. I don't fight. I don't sit there. I just sat there and took it. And that I think made me lose a lot of confidence for sure.
Okay. So for me on that one, it would be the thing that drained my confidence was, this is a hot button, was growing up in a all white town and being one of like 5 or 6 other black kids growing up, and kind of felt out of place a little bit. And maybe think that, do I belong here? Everything is this how it is everywhere? Because, when you're younger, 18 and lower, you don't know about life in the world and how it changes and like, how the future's going to change in general. It wasn't horrible. Like I wasn't treated horribly, anything like that. But it felt like it was off.
Okay.
And I wasn't. Go ahead.
Just a quick question, since you're from Texas, right?
Yeah.
When you were a kid, did it seem more racially divided there? Because like certain, obviously it's the South, so it's definitely, it has history there for that. But as the years go by, it seems like it's relaxed. I would hope now, but still,
I've dealt with it in Texas. I've dealt with it more. I dealt with it a lot more than other places. It shocks the hell out of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, small town. I used to, I don't know if they still do it, but one summer you got to see a Klan rally. And it was different. And, they came and went, and it was weird. So in that standpoint, it made me feel a little self-conscious and like, am I safe here? Do we need to leave? Do we need to move? Everything like that. Talk to my mom's who raised me, talk to my uncle. My uncle's like a father figure to me. And they're like, no, we're not going anywhere. And I was like, okay, don't worry about it. Got it. Got a little older with it. And I was like, okay, they are people too. They just feel this way about life. So, and that's how they think life should go and how their livelihood should move. But yeah, and I think, let's see here. I think I think I always feel like I'm going to go back to that low self-esteem, that low confidence every so often. Because like right now, I'm on a high. I've never felt better, honestly, in a long time. So I'm worried that I'm going to slide back into that self-loathing, that obscurity, and just make myself be that recluse again. But I have a good support system. I have my friends. I got you guys, and honestly, my roommate won't allow it. He won't fucking allow it at all.
That's good.
But yeah, and I just wanted to get that from. I want to get a lot better and always stay a lot better. So what combats you from sliding back into that hole of obscurity and self-loathing? We'll start with you, Texas. I did.
Paraphrase, but the message is still the same. I've taught myself that for my brand anyway, it's easier for me to treat down self-loathing. You can call it what it is, and it's pity. It's a pity party. All of it's justified, but at the end of the day, it is pity. So I treat it like it's another person who's trying to put me down. And I will be damned if I'm going to have somebody in my head, besides my good thoughts, tell me how it's going to go. Now, Granted, everybody has their weak moment. but you just got to fight through it, man. Like what Josh said earlier, he says he's not a fighter, but I call BS on that. I mean, he come up through bullying. He finally met his group of people where he feels comfortable.
There's different forms of fighters. There really
Yes.
is. Mentally, physically, then there's, you know, you like he said, you've survived all the bullying, and not a lot of people can do that. Definitely pat yourself on the back for that. Definitely see that as a strong suit for you.
I agree with that. I strongly agree with that. What about you, Josh?
Portraying to this here, I honestly, the way I try to do it is I try to look at the brighter side of every situation, which brings me down to that point where I have no confidence. And I find that's the best way for me to normally get over it. If I can't that way there, usually I have somebody like you, Raider, messaged me the other day because you could tell something was off with me, and that's where it comes back to that too, where that friendship really does bring everything together for me. And if I am in a low spot, I know I have somebody there who I can talk to and get into contact with when I do lose that confidence in everything I have.
Well, I'm glad I can be part of your support system. I really am. If you ever need anything, like always, just let me know. Even if you don't know what it is. Let's talk about our coping mechanisms. Healthy and unhealthy. When it comes to when you get down. Yeah, we're talking about it. I'll start first. My unhealthy one is I smoke, I vape, and I drink. So I don't drink as much as I used to anymore. Nowhere near as much as I used to anymore. And I feel like I'm at a healthy level now. Mainly drink on the weekends or during a social environment, not just drinking to get blackout drunk. Smoking, I've smoked for, I want to say, a little over 10 years. And then, vaping recently because I don't smoke inside the house. So vaping just was available to do that. And I do it, which is horrible, by the way. And I know it's horrible, but I'm still going to do it because I have that yellow mindset of you only live once. And honestly, if it kills me, it's going to kill me anyways. So, I'm going to die eventually. And I want to go out the way I want to go out and do what I want. My healthy, honestly, is this. Honestly, is this. Podcasting, streaming, talking to friends, talking to people I don't know, getting to know them, figuring out their ins and outs, making sure that, if I'm available to help somebody, I can and do it. I love helping people. I love making people feel better about themselves. As much as I come across, as people know off the podcast sometimes, as the asshole, or how I used to. Let me say it this way, Texas. I hear you laughing. Like that's how I used to be called the asshole, and that reputation followed me a little bit until people got to talk to me again. They're like, "You've changed a lot." What about you, Texas? What's your cope mechanism?
Well, you've been there for a lot of them.
I know.
Like you, vape a lot and drink way more than you should. I'm not going to place no blame because the only blame is on me. But, been in blue collar jobs my whole adult life. It just kind of comes with the territory, monkey see, monkey do.
I
And
get that.
probably the most unhealthy thing I do, throw a little curveball at you here,
Okay.
is I attach to people very easily. Okay. Like hanging out in the Discord and everything, get close to people like within a blink of an eye. And
Okay.
put my trust in these people, and sometimes that can be good or bad. But
Yeah.
we can get into why that is later. I'm gonna tell you what it is now. That's probably the most unhealthy thing I really do, as far as mentally unhealthy. Maybe not physically, but in the same breath, it's a different side of the coin. It's also my healthiest habit is talking to people like you, like me and you, have gotten closer. I'm in the Tulit community, gotten really close with a lot of members over there. A lot of personal stories. You feel trusted. You feel at home with some people. And
Yeah.
I think everybody needs that.
I agree. Everybody does need that. They need their group. They need their family. I want to say, I use family for it. Their circles, and they need their support system to all work together. Because, in all honesty, not always do they all go together. And you find that in one simple group. That's wonderful.
Mm.
And it makes you strive to do better and make up for your shortcomings a little bit there. Let's see here. Savage.
It's kind of it's kind of like a pro and a con at the same time for me, really. I kind of turn my emotions off entirely. A lot of the times I can be very cold and calculated. I think of things in a logical aspect. I'm a realist, you know. I just see those things for the way it is, and I do cold logic and just proceed as I see fit. And I try not to get emotional, because when I do, there's no low. There's just a high. It's good emotion, bad emotion. It's never, it's an extreme. It's never just subtle. If I snap, it's not good. I've only snapped 3 times in my life, and it was pretty ugly. The one time I snapped in high school, what was it? It was basically, I built up this confidence thing. Actually, this is one of the times I actually kind of went to this mindset. But I had a crush on a chick in high school, and I was trying to build the confidence to ask her out prom date. And not even prom date. I just wanted to ask her on a date. So I asked her out on a date. She said yes originally. And then I was like, then I said, wait a second, prom's coming up. Let's go to that instead. And then after she originally said yes, she said she already had a date for prom. And I kind of lost it, because I was confused and then kind of hurt at the same time. You know, why would you say yes? And then all that stuff. So I went into the locker room, and I broke a metal door with my fist, to the point that my fist was black and blue and bloody all over, because I was hitting a grate. Like on the door, there's like the slots you see on the door, and this was all just, it was so messed up. That was one of the times I snapped on, just emotionally. So after that, I kind of built this mindset instead to not be so emotional and think logically about it. And that could be a curse and a gift, because that can save you, but it can also kind of make you feel not human, you know? That kind of makes you null, kind of an empty void at times, because I deal with that a lot. So it's a gamble, really. So I would say that's one of the many cons, and then sometimes a pro. In terms of like drinking and stuff, I barely drink. I mean, I've had this bottled for like 5 months. It's still basically full, just sitting here. Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to do that.
When I look at things, example alcohol, I never drink enough to get shit faced or drunk. Usually, I never got shit faced before in my life. I've been drunk, but not like I can't remember. I can usually just go for a buzz, and that's about it. And then the other things is like smoking cigarettes. I've never smoked cigarettes in my life. For me, I see it as like it's an unhealthy habit that can give you cancer, all these things. There's too many negatives to the positive that it can give you. That's how I just perceive it. I know why people do it. It's a good stress reliever, but it can cause so many health issues that I don't want to go into that. So that's how I see it. And then I smoke weed, but not that much, and occasionally, and that's for like more of like a Thanksgiving kind of thing, not to like just get numb. So I'm a very logical person in that sense. And the pros though is like I like hanging out with friends. I like playing video games and just relaxing. After a long stressful day at work, I just come home, unwind, sit down, family, friends. Yeah, that's definitely the pros for that.
Okay, so Josh, let's get to you.
All right. Well, for me, what happens is I will start to isolate myself. I'll break down. I won't talk to anyone really. I hide away. That's my biggest one I'll do. I do get attached to people very easily at sometimes when I'm getting at that point, and then I'll just try to stick by them. But I've been getting better at that one there. I just quit vaping, so I don't do that anymore like I used to. I don't smoke anymore. I drink, but if I drink, it's like normally it's only a beer or two. Like last night, obviously, I drank a lot more than that. But I just, I want to have a night. Just I haven't drank in a while. I want to have a good night, And I was in a good spot when I started drinking, so that didn't bother me really, But when I'm trying to get more of that positive effect out of things, it's definitely going around talking to people in Discords. Like I have multiple different Discords I go into and talk to people. Like Raider, you've seen me in so many. But also like I was gone for like a year, right? And I just started coming back around. What, a couple months ago now, Raider?
Yeah, you were gone for a little bit. Worried about you, but at the same time, I've done the same thing where I've fallen off the face of the earth for like a year or two, a couple months, and then I just come back like nothing ever happened. Like, hey guys, I'm here.
Yeah, and I'm me personally, I'm trying to avoid doing that now. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to stay around. Like I have your Discord, right? I have a couple other Discords that I'm into as well. That I'm in there. Even when I'm at work, I'm in there. I'll talk to you guys while I'm driving in my truck, right? Once I find my headphones, I'll be able to talk to you guys when I'm in the stores and stuff. But it's just one of those things that it feels good to have that system here where I can go into different Discords and talk to people and be around people. It's definitely a big uprise for the feeling of that confidence coming back.
Yeah, I get you. Okay, let's see here. Who do I want to pick on first? I don't know.
Do it.
Texas. All right. What drives you to stay confident after failing in relationships and your new hobbies you get into? Texas, you there?
Yeah, I had a bit of an issue there.
I see that. All right. So, what drives you to stay confident after you fail in relationships and work and getting new hobbies?
Oh, I wouldn't have volunteered for that if I didn't know that's what it was.
Oh, he's back. There you go. You're back. He's gone. He's back again.
Okay. I think I got it figured out.
All right, there we go.
Nice.
So, well, that was the question. I wouldn't have volunteered. You hear me? Maybe give me a minute here. Move on to another guest. Let me figure this out.
Well, you don't want to do this on the fly?
No, I can do it on the fly. Ask the question again. Fine.
All right. What drives you to stay confident after failing in relationships, work, and new hobbies?
Well, what drives me is failure.
Okay.
Because, as anyone will tell you, it's on any motivational page ever. True failure is not trying at all, and I believe that. And as far as the relationships go, I'll give it. That's my weakness. I'm a little scared of them. I'll say that in front of everybody. But
well, you're not alone there. Relationships, you've seen part of my track record history. Relationships aren't my strong point at all either. The only person I know right now that's in a strong relationship is Savage. Like that actually the way it should work, everything like that, how it makes it better and grows and everything like that and evolves is Savage right now.
It's all because of you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, you're gonna just keep doing that. I'm over here. What am I, Hitch?
Hey, you're the one that introduced us. Wouldn't be existing if it wasn't for you. So
yeah, and there's some other people too. Like there's one in particular, MM. You know who you are. Good, great relationship. They thrive off each other. I love it. It's funny. It's great. They're always having fun. They're relaxing, and they're about to have, a good old science baby. So it's a great thing.
For me, it's a real simple rule, and it'll sound cut and dry.
Yeah.
I refuse to be beaten. If I felt like something isn't working out, then I can let it go. Then I'm just quitting on myself, and that just ain't the way I was raised.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier about being a fighter, everybody's some kind of fighter.
Let's talk about work. What keeps you confident when when you're failing at work?
Well, I'll go ahead and throw this out there too. My trade is for 10 years, I have been a horseshoer, or some people might know it as a farrier.
Okay.
If you don't know what that is, you can look it up. I'm not going to oversell it just because I'm not a sissy, but
Yeah.
it is hurtful work. It takes a toll on your body. So for that, what really got me into it was, again, it goes back to my childhood. My dad being a Marine, there was no way I wasn't going to prove that I'm not a tough guy. You know, found one of the toughest jobs I could around. It's like I'm going to do that. At the beginning, I regretted it because it really is. It's sad. It takes a toll until you get conditioned for it. It's just like anything else. But what really drives me now is if it's something that you can get good at, like decent at it, and people are happy with your work, people appreciate it. That's really where my confidence comes from when I do anything for anybody. They don't have to give me, not even just talking about work, but they don't have to give me money or anything. Just not gratification, just appreciation, even just a little bit, like a simple, like heartfelt thank you. Like if I can look you in your eyes and tell you appreciate it, I'd have done it for free probably.
Okay. That's good. That's good. That's a good thing about you. I didn't know.
And you gotta ask.
It don't come up in topic. We don't talk about a lot of stuff that brings up to doing something for somebody else, and
Well, we're gonna get some tearjerker stuff in here soon. Feel it.
yeah, we are.
Oh,
Okay, let's go, Josh. Let's hear about you. I know
all right.
this is tough, touchy subject right now.
Very, very
but-
touchy subject right now with me
but-
recently getting separated, but
Yep.
the way, coming out of a relationship like I have, like I was with her for 5-6 years, so it definitely wasn't just an easy thing for me. Well, I made it look easy, but I know it wasn't easy,
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
the first few nights sitting in bed by myself, laying there in the dark, that killed me inside. I just couldn't handle it. But the way I look at it now is, you know what? I have a way to improve myself. I have a way to make myself better. And there's plenty of other fish in the sea still, like that doesn't mean that I'm done forever.
Yeah.
The best way I could look at it is, relationships, yeah, they're hard. They take a lot of work, and definitely like my last few relationships, I don't have a lot of trust now when I go into one anymore because I've been cheated on through every relationship I've ever been in. So for me to just try and jump into something is very hard. Because I don't trust people, I don't. And Raider, I trust you clearly because I come and talk to you about almost anything now.
Yeah, you do.
Like I literally added you on Facebook just so you would have a way to contact me if I'm not looking at my Discord or something, as well. Definitely that's been a struggle for me though. Sometimes I still struggle with it, but I have been getting a lot better with it now.
Well, I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you, man. Like I said, you're doing better. You're growing. You're excelling now. Yeah, we lost Texas again. No.
No, I'm here.
It popped up, said you stopped recording. That's why. Go ahead, Mr. Savage. It's your turn.
For me, when I deal with a failure, I just see it as an experience. So, work, relationships, it's knowledge for the future. It's, more power to be gained, and use that to further progress into your personal life. You got only one life, and you might as well take full advantage of it and use whatever you experience to prosper into the future. In relationships, I've had 4, including the one I'm in now, and the first 3, it wasn't. I never got cheated on, luckily, but it was definitely, it was different. And the last one before the current one, it was 10 years. So I was with someone for 10 years, and it was it was a struggle through and through. And then after that 10 years, it felt like it was. The first thought was almost like, wow, I just wasted 10 years. you put all that time into someone and then they just up and disappear. But then I kind of went back on it after a little bit and saw it as an experience and what not to do in the future, not to waste that energy that you have, because again, you only have one life, you only have so much time. So you might as well find that person that you're going to be able to spend the rest of your life with, and or at least try to, and give that energy to them as long as they're giving the energy to you. Kind of get what you're giving. That's how I saw it. In terms of work, my biggest fear, to be honest, is the unknown. So when I get put into a new environment, new people, new place, stuff like that, it's nerve-wracking for me. I won't show it because I know there's like you said earlier, Texas, there's a voice in the back of your head, one side it's like, the bitch voice is like, oh, don't do it, you're so scared, and you get all these like things in the back of your head, but then you gotta fight that voice and push through. And so I just
get that, man.
I push, yeah. So I just push that voice out, and then even though I know it bothers me to an extreme level, I still push through and do it anyways. So like we talked in previous podcasts, I'm moving. And that's going to be a whole new experience to me. I never moved out. I've never had my own place. I've never, done the simple things of like changing my bank or anything. All of that stuff I've had since the very beginning. So it's all a new experience, and it is kind of intimidating, but I know I'm still gonna just do it anyways. That's just me, so I have to like push through it. So that's how I see it, at least. So anytime you fail at something, you just gain that experience and just push forward.
If I can add something here with the working thing, the way I look at failures at work is it's a way to improve yourself. Like I don't look at a failure as a bad thing at work. Like I've been talked to a few, like a couple weeks back about something that happened at work, right? And the way I look at it, it's not a failure. It's criticism. It's criticism which you can improve on. It's nothing bad.
I agree.
The best way to look at it is, okay, I can improve by doing it this way rather than the way I was doing it, or just changing up what you do or something. It's an easy thing to easily do. Just take it as criticism rather than as a failure.
I can agree with that. All right, let's get my cat out of the bag. All right, so what drives you to stay confident after failing in a relationship? Oh, many that know me know my last relationship was a doozy. I went from giving everything into it to not really getting anything in return. And at the time, because I was struggling mentally, I wasn't giving a whole lot into it. And my give it all at that point in time wasn't a lot. I felt like a failure. Felt like I was failing at everything. Couldn't get anything right. Even doing the podcast, I was like, this is not working right. What do I need to do? Who do I go to? Where do I go from here? And then, I leaned on some friends and it worked out better, but I still had that feeling in the back of my mind of, you're a fucking failure. You fail at every relationship you've done. You've not had one successful relationship end out on a good note the way it should end out. Like how you think a mature relationship should end, it didn't end that way. But it got better over time. I started grinding, doing things I needed to do. I started hanging out with friends and making myself feel happy. Then I started going out dancing again. Yeah, the drinking came with that, but it wasn't to the extreme. It was just social, not horrible, not blackout drunk, and it was enjoyable. Not waking up with hangovers, not feeling shitty for a couple days, and yeah, I got back a piece of myself that I hadn't had in about 3 years. With work, if anybody's been in the Discord, seen me, I've been fucking going, dog.
Yes.
Nonstop. I even pulled all nighter last night just to get to talk to somebody about a subject so we can get on board, try to schedule something out together. And then I just like most of my jobs, I go above and beyond. When I'm dealing with my mental health issues, and as I've said before in a previous podcast, you can catch that on Spotify with Ghosty. I admitted I had schizophrenia, diagnosed schizophrenia. And it's one of those things that it alters your life a little bit. Or a lot of it. Actually, a lot of it. We'll say a lot. I downplay a lot of stuff. I'll just be honest. It's a major factor you got to consider. So, dealing with that, working at the time, I lost 2 jobs because I couldn't keep myself controlled, and I was at a low. And then I just said, you know what? I just need to go back to finding myself, grinding, and enjoying it. And I started doing that. I started doing that with the podcast because I want this to grow. I want this to be something. I want to do a lot more stuff, not just the podcast. Like, honestly, in my future, I'm aiming at nonprofits, VA reach outs, veteran help, homelessness, and things like that, and mental health advocacy. So, I'm looking at so many big picture things and doing so much research into them, figuring out the first steps in them. How do I get my foot in the door? Where do I need to go? And it's driving me more, and it's giving me confidence again. Getting into new hobbies. I'm the worst at getting started into new hobbies. I'm like a child. I'm gonna say it. I'm like a child. I'll start a new hobby. I'll like it. Then it goes on the shelf for months. If I did good at it, I might go back to it. If I sucked at it, it's still on the shelf. And yeah, so I got into watches, guns, and drones. So yeah, I have 2 drones, and the first time I flew a drone, it got stuck in the damn tree. Yeah, it was a good time.
Now,
Great time.
what kind of drone is it? Because the one I have is an FPV, so it's like first person view on the drone itself.
It's not that. It's not like that.
Is it like a handheld?
Yeah, it's a handheld. So yeah, I got stuck in a tree, and it stayed in that tree for about a month until hurricane season hit, and then it came down.
You waited.
I was like, I'm not going up there. And that tells you about my hobbies. It tells you something. And that's the difference between how I feel about hobbies and how I feel about this podcast. Because this podcast, I'm going with everything. So I don't feel like this is a hobby for me. I feel like this is the thing that's keeping me going and making me feel better about everything else. Let's talk about what is your goal for your friends? Do you hold your friends accountable to, have a good high mental, capacity and to help you or help themselves? Do you actually help them when they're struggling? What does it look like to you? I'm letting anybody answer this one.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go first here. For me, like, even if I'm struggling, I try to be there for my friends. Like, I will put myself on the back burner. I put everyone else before myself, and I'm still bad for that. Like, I was talking to a Raider just the other day about this here. I literally put everyone else before myself. I don't care what place I'm in right at that point in time. If you need help, I am there. I will listen. I will sit there. I will do whatever you need. I am there. And I will put myself on the back burner. But the odd thing about that is it actually makes me feel better about myself when I do that for some reason, and I don't know why. Like, it makes me feel more confident in myself when I do that. It's like I'm helping somebody else. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel happy that I'm able to do that for somebody else. So it brings back me a little bit more when I do that, it seems like. But sometimes, obviously, I do get to that point where I just shut down. I disappear. Raider noticed it the other day.
Yeah, okay. I do. That's
I
why
can.
I reached out to you.
Mm, yeah, I can see that. I guess a way to look at it is one of the reasons it could be you feel better is because it kind of you kind of feel satisfied with helping someone. It makes you feel happy, useful. It'll be a word for it. It's nice to feel useful to people. Friends, family, lovers. It's nice to feel wanted. Someone that wants to come to you to talk to. You feel like a person yourself. They know that they can trust you with their burdens or just talking in general for whatever reason. So that's maybe one of the reasons why you feel good about doing that, which is perfectly fine. That's good. That's a good thing. So yeah.
I mean, that makes complete sense to me. The fact that if I feel like usefulness, I feel like I'm actually doing something to help somebody else. I think that's what the biggest thing is. I'm helping somebody else, and it just makes me feel better because I know they're getting to a better place too.
Yep. That's a great quality to have. Honestly, more people need to have that quality. What about you, Texas?
You're gonna laugh at me.
Go for it. I need to laugh.
You've given this portrayal of me of the playboy asshole jerk face.
So I called you the rest.
I'm actually a lot like Josh, and that's kind of my problem. It's a little unhealthy to a certain extent if you can't control it, but I do love to help my fellow man. That's just I don't care what religion or how you were brought up. I really believe that that's what we were put on this earth to do, to help each other out, no matter what.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Humans are made to be codependent upon each other. You need
Exactly.
uh, socialization would be a word for it.
Yeah, because isolation for us does not end well.
No,
And
it's not.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't isolate myself.
Yeah, you did. You son of a bitch.
It's much like a pack of wolves. So
I took a hiatus for about 2 years. That's probably what Roger's referring to. So I just had some healing. I felt like I had to do on my own. But anyway, no, I like to help people. It makes me feel good, and I don't really do it for the gratification or the appreciation. It's just that look on someone's face when I make their day, possibly their life, easier. Like especially if a friend comes to me and they're having a crisis, I can be a voice of reason, whether that be talking them off the ledge or whether that be they can get some sleep in because they have peace of mind. I like to be there for people.
yeah,
Yeah,
I can agree with that.
yeah, that's good, man. That's really good. All right. This one's going to be a little tricky on somebody.
Mm.
How does your friend group define you when accomplishing goals? Yeah. Like, yeah. Like, if your friend group's successful, is that making you feel like you're successful in, or are your friends being stagnant, not doing anything, having their feet stuck, not progressing? It is.
That is an interesting question, I will say. That one actually really gets to me because all of my friends, right? Like, I think I have maybe one friend IRL,
Yeah.
The rest of my friends are all online, so it's kind of like interesting for me because, like, yeah, I know you guys, like I know you all, right? But do I really know you fully?
Yeah,
Do I know you as well as I would know somebody in real life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of becomes a tough question because, like, with that, like, I want to see my friends be successful, I want to see them be happy. I want to see them be where they want to be at, At the same time, I'm trying to get to where I want to be at too, right? And I would hope that, like, if I'm going to support them, they're going to support me back for that there, right? Like, I just, like I was saying earlier, I just recently went for an interview and posted a picture of myself in my suit, and everyone said that they are, that I looked good and that I that I should be confident and I'm going to get this position, right, if I'm really trying for it, which boosted my confidence a lot right before that interview. So
That's
I felt
good.
really good going into it. because of them. So that helped me a lot, honestly, through that. And if anyone else ever need that, like I'd do the exact same thing that way, right? I'd be the exact same way. You're going for an interview. Good luck. You got this. You can do it. Just like I was getting from everyone else. And I'd want to see them get that position and be successful as well.
Yeah, what he said. I mean, it is pretty similar. I mean, I don't let other people define me. Do I feel successful if my friend group is going places? Damn skippy. But I mean, I don't really know how to say it without sounding like a cocky jerk, as Raider likes to tell me. But if I don't do something for myself, I about feel useless. But if I can do something for someone else, I'm glad I could help them reach their goal. So I guess at the end of the day, like I'm not keeping tallies of how many people I've helped or this or that.
Yeah. And by the way,
In a way, me helping people motivates me.
yeah. And by the way, when we say he looked handsome, he looked good in his suit. This is what we're talking about.
Oh man,
Obviously.
throwing me up on this with the suit, eh?
Had the suit on right. He did everything he needed to do. He got his
Obvious
suit
suit.
up.
I honestly felt really good that day. I wore that suit the whole day until I was done the day. Literally, I did not take it off.
You really did. You felt great. You really
That's
did.
good.
Oh shit, my mic's not picking up. There we go.
I felt like I looked good that day, and then everyone just made me feel so confident that day. So I literally kept it on all day because it just that feeling was there.
Nice.
I'm a big proponent of, being cool with lounge wear. Can't tell me you don't feel like a sharp dressed man.
Exactly.
No, there I definitely did.
Feel good about it.
Yeah, the suit's nice.
Definitely felt really good in that picture when I took it, and then posting it on Discord. That actually took quite a bit for me to do that because I'm not like that normally, where I post pictures of myself places. But that one definitely did help build a lot of confidence for me.
You can see what I'm doing on Discord.
And what is that?
I'll get a picture of you and I'll post. I'm gonna post it.
No,
Next time he has his camera.
I'm it like I should know.
I'll make
I'm
an
not
after dark
camera
section
worthy
just to post that one picture. That's it. You'll see. You will see.
Boy,
All right. So, when is it that you cut your friends loose because they're not accomplishing their goals and actually not helping you get to your point, not helping you live up to your full potential? They're dragging you down. You need somebody you need friends that want to go, but you never have, and they get stagnant. When do you cut them loose because it's putting weight on your mental health, your confidence, your goals you have set?
controversial you want to get? Okay.
It's called Join the Rate Podcast. We're about controversy, so please share, sir.
So I'll just go ahead and throw this out there because I know Savage said it earlier. I don't have a problem with people smoking weed. I really don't. I don't do it. I don't care for it. Bad experiences. Da 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 da. Anyway, that was the first time I had to cut somebody off. He was my best friend since middle school till I was about 18. He started smoking weed. And, at that time, as a kid, you don't really know a whole lot about it. It's a no-no. I tell you it's a no-no, stuff like that. He made it to where he would hang out at the wrong places at sketchy times of the night just so he could get high. So what I'm getting at is when someone is doing these things to themselves just to get a buzz, kind of like alcohol. Alcohol is no different. He started destroying himself, and he tried to take me with him.
Okay.
Quite literally. Like he was hanging out with some sketchy dude, and he was my best friend. He asked me to go with him. I went to some of these sketchy places more than once. I was like, you know what, man, this ain't me, and I know this ain't you, but this is what you're turning into, and if this is what you're turning into, I can't support it. So it's almost like for me, the cutoff is when a friend is pretty much destroying themselves. They're not listening to reason. What other choice do you have besides driving your head through the wall, making yourself go insane, trying to save somebody?
I completely agree with that. I had a couple friends. They like to do a little bit of snow, a little bit of that cocaine. I've never tried it, and they offered it to me, and I was like, nah, I'm good. But they go to these places that, you know, I don't feel comfortable at, and most of the time, I'll feel comfortable anywhere, like no matter what, because I can just be by myself without worrying about anything. But some of these places, I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't need to be here.
Places I wouldn't even go with a gun.
Exactly. When you get down to the places like that where you're like, I got a gun, I'm not worried. And you're like, no, I'm not going there. I don't care if I have 2 guns or not. I don't care if I'm driving and can leave whenever I want to. I'm not even attempting to go there. And so yeah, you know, they were a good friend. Really, really fucking good friend. Accomplishing goals, everything like that, driving me and making me feel like, you know, this is good friendship. And then he started to backslide and get more deeper into drugs. They went from coke to meth, and you know they just fell off after that. And that's when I knew I was like, I can't be your friend anymore. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I get that. It's almost sound like I can't watch you do this anymore. That's what happened to me. Like it's killing me to see you do this to yourself, and you're asking me to watch you do it. I'm just not willing to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, you have to just cut loose, cut ties. You know, I've personally never had to do that. Luckily, the way I see it is like you're saying it. You know, at some point you have to draw the line, not only for your own health but for theirs as well. Because you know, if they drag you down with them too, you both might end up surviving, but at the end of the day, they're going to feel even crappier about themselves as well if they bring you down with them. And you know, it's gotta you gotta draw a line at some point. You know, you want to help and you do try to help, but at the same time, you can only do so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've never been in a situation like that myself either, you know, like obviously it's most of the times I have friendships that end, they just kind of fade away. The biggest thing for me is like, you know, my stepdad is actually a recovered alcoholic. He hasn't actually just yesterday or today, his 6 years since he last had a drink. So like, you know, I look up to him a lot for everything because, you know, like he's definitely had a lot of people cut off in his life because of that there, right? But he's also a veteran, you know, he's been through the ringer. He's a Navy veteran.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
They have a Navy?
Yes, we have Navy, Air Force, and Army, just like you guys.
Yeah.
Just we aren't as big as you.
I'm really shitty. I didn't mean it to come off that way.
Hey, you know what? Being the only Canadian here, I'm used to this here, honestly, because literally almost every place I'm in, I am the only Canadian, or almost the only Canadian, right? Like 9 times out of 10, I'm the only Canadian in the chat, so I get picked on all the time for it. So you're good.
I would talk to it to you, but half of my family's from northern Minnesota, so I can't really say a whole lot.
Well, they're in Canada technically, so
Might as well be.
I mean, close, but not quite.
You never know. Who knows? All right. Let's see. And also, everybody, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Let's see here.
Raider looking all happy, smiley, and handsome.
I know, it's fucking weird as shit.
Got a fresh new cut. He's shaved. He's a brand new man.
Had to do something.
You still are going to be shaved.
Rewound the clock 10 years.
Yeah, I did. In those times where you were low and you had your friend group there, would you have lowered your guard to actually get help from them? And would you have taken the help or told them what you needed?
Who you asking?
So, yeah, who are you asking?
This is free roll. No, I'm gonna let somebody answer on their own.
All right. I'll. A couple of months ago, I wouldn't have opened up to anyone about it. You know, like I would have sat there silently, just in my low, just taking it. You know what I mean? Just dealing with it myself. Now, though, I have a, you know, like I open up a lot more than I used to. I've opened up to you, Raider, quite a bit now. I've opened up to some other people now. I'm trying to get better at that there because I know holding that all in isn't healthy for me. It isn't good for me. Mentally it causes a huge strain. It really just I don't want to be putting myself in harm's way by not talking about stuff anymore.
I get that. For myself, if it was 3 years ago, I would say fuck them. Fuck them all. Because I'm not telling nobody shit. I'm just fucking leaving. I mean, I'm fucking gone. They're going to message me, hit me up. I'm like, I'm okay. I'll reply. I will actually reply and say, I'm okay. Even though I'm not, even though I'm spiraling, everything bad. I'm not going to tell nobody anything. Today, I'll reach out. I'll talk to people. Every single day, I'm on a call with Boss Lady. Every fucking day so far. And one of her first questions all the time is, did you sleep? Did you eat? I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, calm down, Mom. Calm the fuck down.
That's her nature, this.
Yeah. And I'm just like, no, I'm good. We talk all the fucking time. We're just, spitballing ideas or talking about life and telling about how it's going now. And then, I got my other friend group and we talk a lot too. Like we're Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, everything, Twitch. We follow each other on everything and talk to each other on everything. And it just makes it a lot easier when you have a real supportive group. And it sucks when you have a real supportive group and you have that mindset like I used to have, because they want to actually be there for you. They want to help shoulder the weight. They want to make sure that you don't have this doubt to yourself of, can we do anything for you? Can we? And they actually mean it, not just the nonchalant, you okay? No, you're not? Okay, well, I hope it gets better for you. They're not like that. So,
Yeah, I think the biggest difference between me and you there, Raider, is I don't message people back if they ask me if I'm okay, When I used to never, I just sit there, open it, leave it. I wouldn't message anyone. I would just shut down on that there. I would say, nope, not happening, not messaging you, not touching this, get away from me. Kind of idea, they wouldn't know that I'm saying that because that's how I hid stuff, I just wouldn't message anyone about it. I wouldn't message anyone at all.
Yeah, I get that. Like I've explained before, I'm more of a logical person, so not a lot of the times do I allow things to consume me. But when it does happen, I actually do reply to people. I won't tell everyone, whatever's going on. There's only a select few that I trust wholeheartedly. But those select few, I'll definitely talk to and let them know what's going on, that kind of situation. But for the most part, it never really gets to that point. I'm more of like you are. You like to make sure that other person's okay and help them out. I've helped Raider a few times with his all his like side things he's dealt with throughout his. I've known you for what, 2-3 years now, Raider.
Yeah.
So
something about that.
So I've got to know him pretty good, and I've helped him out a little bit here and there, as much as I can, and past year, you were kind of distant with everyone, and I kept tabs on you through Satan, and then when you came back, I was glad. I was like, yeah, it's good to see you back. You're happy, you're energized, and I'm really happy for that. So, I'm more of a person that likes to take care of others instead of taking care of me, kind of deal.
I really appreciate it. I really do. All right, Mr. Texas, because we had the same mentality a couple years ago. We had a couple talks, then you disappeared, then I disappeared. Then yeah, you made it look cool, so I had to try it.
Yeah.
Like, adios. Wow, wow, wow. Just walk away.
That would be like had to disappear real quick, like in the smoke.
Yeah.
Pretty guilty of it. I'm trying to get better. Raider, you knew me when I was mad and too lit before I was that guy that you were describing in the intro that I don't take no shit. I really don't care what you think. If you're gonna tell me an excuse, I don't want to hear it. I want to know the real reason. So, I was an asshole. I didn't open up to anybody, and I'm trying to be better now. I'm on here and being social. I've been a lot more active in Discord, stuff like that. Sounds like we all kind of have that deal to where we just all have to shut down for a minute,
Yeah.
let our own computer recharge.
It's a hard reset. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, some take longer than others, like myself and yourself, especially.
Yeah.
But I don't forget those talks we had. I know I give you crap for it, and a lot of people don't really understand it. I'm able to kind of joke it up with you about military stuff, even though I wasn't in. It's just only because I get the lifestyle. That's what I grew up. So our sense of humor is kind of dark, but
Yeah.
I try to open up, be a bigger and better man these days, depending on what you do.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen a drastic change from how we were a couple of years ago in Too Lit to now. I've seen you go from the fuck it mentality to I actually care about this. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to reach out and help. Like the other day, you were trying to help somebody figure out the basics and giving them a golden ticket on how to get affiliated. They didn't take it. So, and I know in the past you would have been like, just post your social.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have tried to help them.
I guess there's like this goes for more towards men than it does for anyone else. Really, it's that mentality that's gone throughout history, and basically the whole thing is men are treated in the sense that you're not supposed to show emotion. Almost like it's kind of like frowned upon. People look at it as like a weakness. Men and women, they'll look at you and be like, "Oh, you're too emotional. That's not good." And no person wants that. And it's a big problem.
With me, I definitely am a person who shows my emotions more. Like I've used to try and hide them, but at this point, I give up on that. And
That's
if
good.
I'm getting emotional now, I'll start crying. I don't give a shit. Like I'll bawl in the middle of whatever I'm doing. I'll step away if I need to for a minute to calm myself down. If I get angry, right, I'll do what I need to, but I'm not going to hold it back anymore. I'm at that point in my life where it's just like I don't give a shit what you think about me. You can think whatever the hell you want. I am going to keep doing what I'm doing. If I show my emotions, I show my emotions. I don't give a shit. You can look at me however you want to about it.
It's good. It's a human thing, We all have emotions, and you have every right to show them just as much as anyone else. So it doesn't matter if you're a man, a woman, and whatever in between. You have the right to your emotions like anyone else. They're valid. That shouldn't be frowned upon. But a lot of men today, they kind of shut down their emotions. They hide it.
Yeah.
I definitely used to be like that, where I would hide my emotions for sure. And like I said, throughout life, I've realized there's no point in hiding them.
No.
Like, yeah,
Not at all.
it's still frowned upon for us to show emotions. Like it still is, and it's gonna be forever. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the
We
funny
have
thing
always been
about it.
shown to not show emotion. We've always been taught not to show emotion. But there's a certain point where you just have to stop giving a shit what everyone else thinks and just be you.
So like I said earlier.
Well, that's the funny thing about it, because you hear it through the grapevine, everything like that. Texas, you can attest to this as well. You hear women want a man that's going to be there for them in that emotional sense because they don't get that. But the moment you break down the walls and let them in, they look at that and they kind of latch onto it, and either they're all for it or they're like, I don't want to be with a soft ass fucking man.
Yeah. And that's how it's looked at nowadays, right? Like they either look at you as really soft because you show your emotions, but the thing is, if you're hiding your emotions, you aren't emotionally available for them either. It feels like, you know what I mean? You need to be emotionally available for them, and they should be the same way with you, emotionally available. Like when you're hiding your emotions the whole time, you aren't really emotionally available at all. Like you're a block, you're a brick wall.
Yeah. Let's see here. Texas, you got your sound stuff figured out yet? Texas.
He's muted currently, so.
Yeah, I know he is. Oh, Lord. All right. So let's talk about our last episode a little bit here. We went over starting fresh. We kind of went a little bit into mental health and, a little bit about relationships. So my takeaway from that was starting over is scary. It's stressful. It puts a lot of weight on you that you didn't think coming, especially when something happens out of nowhere that you didn't expect right before you get ready to actually make that big jump to move. So it's and for myself, it was one of the best moves I could have made. And I've had friends here tell me, just come back to Texas, it'll be better. Just come back to Texas, it'll be better. Come back to Texas, it'll be better. Trust us. Just trust us. And I said, it can't be that much better.
Texas does seem pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie.
Let me tell you, it's damn good. It's damn good.
I mean, Joe Rogan lives there, and he's been loving it. There's other people, too. A lot of people have been migrating that way.
Yeah. Expel lives here, and it's been great. All right, there you go. Yeah, I know you are. I can't wait, motherfucker. We're gonna get some shenanigans, and nobody's gonna be ready for that.
Not the shenanigans.
Not the shenanigans.
So going off of what you're saying there, Raider, like for me, last obviously December, I got told I had to be out of my place in 3 days. I was freaking out. Where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? I don't have money. I don't have anything, right? I have 2 vehicles. I have all my stuff, Where do I go? So unfortunately right now, I had to move back into my dad's basement, and that's where I'm staying right now. But it's been a great opportunity for me. He's letting me stay here until I can afford to buy a house. He's going to let me sit here just in his basement until I can get myself back on my feet. Yeah, I'm paying him rent and stuff, but it's not as much as it would be if I was anywhere else, it's way less. It's in half what I'd be paying anywhere else. It's a horrible situation, but also when I left that house though and got over here, and a couple weeks after my obviously getting told I'm getting divorced, right, and separate,
yeah,
I felt relief more than anything. I felt a huge wave of relief on me because I was expected to pay for all the house, the bills, everything, and that's not how a relationship should be, in my opinion. Just going with your last podcast, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, Texas. Got something for you. We haven't touched on it at all this episode like I wanted to, but we're going to talk about it now.
Well, let's get into it.
Let's talk about your survival skills.
How are you on?
And what is the most underrated survival skill you can pinpoint?
Most underrated or most
undervalued?
Yeah, undervalued. Thank you. Honestly, the most undervalued is get clean water.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know how to get clean water when your plumbing goes out. You don't know how to do it. You might say, "Oh, I'm going to dream and drink out of here and it'll be good."
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Probably the most. Would you ask most overrated or overlooked? What'd you ask?
I said underrated. That was it. The most underrated one. Yeah. To me,
it's the simplest thing to purify water.
My thing is how to start a fire. Because some people, if they never use flint and steel, they
Friction
can't get
fire,
it.
all
They
that
don't
stuff.
know how to do that. They don't know. It's an easy concept to grasp. It's easy to learn. And something that I got taught at like the age of 6.
Well, that kind of ties into what I said about purifying, because
yeah,
fire, the way you can purify water.
Exactly.
So I can get behind that. Just for me, it's the concept of people thinking any water is good that they find, like in a lake or in a stream, in a river. Oh, it's fresh, it's flowing, it's good. But man,
Yeah. Now, forgiver.
what if I have a question? Oh,
We're getting to that. Calm down,
no,
sir.
I'll
You're
be
almost
patient
there.
then.
Almost there.
I'll be patient.
Giver. What do you think is the best skill that you've learned so far today?
Oh, today.
Yeah, and how does it connect to you feeling good about yourself?
Definitely a skill that I've learned, like not even just today, but I've been learning slowly throughout time as well. More right is learning to use the resources that I have around me, use the people who I need to talk to talk to. You know, I've been really bad for that in the past. I'm still bad at it. I'm getting better, but it's not something that's easy to do. Just start going to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you even I wasn't going to come to you the other day when you messaged me, right? But you messaged me, and so it was you coming to me, not me coming to you in that sense. I definitely need to get better at going to people when I start getting into that downs, those lows, those no confidence areas. You know, I need to start really connecting with people more in that way. And that's definitely a big thing that everyone should learn, honestly, because it could save you later on in life, you know?
I agree.
Because I have been to the point before where I have obviously attempted stuff. And that's why after that I learned I need to be there for people no matter what mood I'm in, you know, and that's why I got to that point of I'm there for you. I don't care. I'll put myself on the back burner. I am there for you. And that's what got me to that point.
Savage.
Yes.
What's a hobby or skill that helps you build your confidence all the time that you go to like, I feel good. I feel really good after this.
A hobby skill?
Hobby or skill? Yeah.
Hobby or skill. I mean, believe it or not, I get a really good confidence and satisfaction after flying the drone. You kind of feel like you're flying, and it's an amazing feeling because I have a fear of heights.
Okay.
So when I'm flying this drone, it's a goggle over your eyes, so it's almost like VR. It's not quite like VR because it has a parameter, so it's not fully going around you. So it's not like your eyesight, so you can see the box. It's like a screen just in front of your eyes, but it's still big enough that it gives you the perception of like you're through the lens of the drone itself. And when you're doing it, I can be flying next to some birds or just flying in the air or whatever underneath a bridge, and it's a nice, satisfying kind of like hobby. And after I'm done with it, I'm kind of have a satisfying feeling to it. Like I can, have a right.
I actually see the confidence in that afterwards because the fact, like, you know, it's like you're facing one of your fears when you're doing that, you know, you have a
Yeah.
fear of heights. Like, I don't have a fear of heights. I have a stupid fear of ladders.
Ladders. Okay. Well, hey, that's not a.
To be fair, the ones that stand like, you know, the ones that stand like that there and have the like bars in between them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had both bars break while I was on top of one day, and it went like that with me on.
Okay, so that's a reasonable reaction.
Yeah. So I'm not afraid of heights, but ladders, no, thank you.
Yeah, it's like if I'm like on the third story of like a mall and I can see like over the railing to like the first floor, I'll not freeze, but I'll slowly, naturally, without even me like thinking about it, back away from the railing and like go towards like more grounded area because it's like the sensation of like, oh, what if I fall right now? I'm dead. I'm gonna die. So I have that irrational fear of that. So, well, not irrational.
It's not irrational. I understand where you're coming from with that completely. For me, like ladders just feels like a stupid fear to me, though. You know what I mean? Like I get where it's from though because of my experience with it. For me, the heights thing though, I've been on rooftops like since I was young. I've been up high like a lot since I was young. You know, I have no issues getting up high on things and doing what I need to. Like I cut down a tree that was probably a good 40, 50 feet tall.
He has a fear of heights. They have a fear of falling.
That's true. That's true. Because it's the sensation of it and the thought of it. Yeah.
I'm the opposite of the spectrum. If I see something tall, like I always think I kind of want to jump off of that.
I'll admit I've had that
He
feeling
ain't
before.
Superman.
Hey, I don't care. I did as a kid. Me and my friends, we would do some dumb shit. When I say dumb shit, we made a bomb and I put in my buddy's a brother's birdhouse that he was super proud of and blew it up. We put a picnic table down, lit it. We sat behind the picnic table, blew it up. Nails went straight through the picnic table at us, and we're just like, and honestly, I should have been dead a long time ago because all the stupid shit I did before even joining the military.
I mean, we all did stupid shit as kids, though. Like at our age, we all did stupid shit as kids. You know what I mean? We're all around the same age, right? But to be fair, Raider, me and you go skydiving one day then.
Lord. What'd you say, Josh?
Me and you should go skydiving one day, buddy. We aren't afraid of heights. Let's go.
I love skydiving.
I've never been, and I've always wanted to.
Nope.
You should jump out of C-130.
That would be so fun, honestly.
It is
If we
fun.
were meant to fly, we would have wings.
Nah. It's a skill issue. That's all.
That's
it
how I.
is. It's a
That's how
skill
I
issue.
think about it, you know.
I'd
I
want that rush
don't.
of adrenaline.
I don't like the deep sea, and I don't like the heights.
I
or
love
falling
the
waters.
ocean. I love the
I
ocean.
can't- I don't like the ocean, like deep ocean. Like if I'm standing like neck water, then okay, yeah, sure. But when it's like the depths of the ocean, where it's just abyss, you don't know what's down there. Like, yeah, I'm good.
All right, Texas, with your noisy ass mic,
So
I can hear every goddamn thing you're doing.
you don't hear
Everything.
nothing.
And the stream can hear it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Now, you said you had a question for me. Whenever you get to a nice area where you're not moving around doing, your dishes, you're opening your screen door,
Grab a beer out of the fridge.
Okay. It sounded like a screen door.
Yeah, it did. It did sound like a loud door.
All right, what was the
My
question
thing
for me?
is, the last earbuds I bought, you couldn't hear me screaming through them. So I didn't know if these you could hear them.
And Mustache said it's not true. We can fly just fine without wings. Says the Black Hawk pilot. All right, what's your question for me?
So my question to you is, as a military guy talking to a bunch of civilians, how was the transition?
So I got into this in the last episode.
Like, the way you talk to people.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, the way you have to address people. I'm talking your normal speech pattern you use in the military. Does it differ?
It is
People.
it is a major fucking change that I don't wish on anybody. Well, when I got out, it was 2018. It was also used to how we all talk to each other in the shop, how we all talk to each other in the smoke pit, and every once in a while when you went out to the bar. Cool. Talk to people normal. Got my first civilian job. It was corporate job, by the way. So I went from talking to people like, go fuck yourself, but it was a term of endearment. It was with love, They knew, hey, that's my boy. But I got in there, I think it was 2 months in, because I didn't really talk to anybody there, because I have nothing in common with these people.
Still different, yeah.
So they invited me out, go get a drink, and it wasn't bad. It was a nice, good time. I started making some jokes. I brought up the game Gay Chicken, and I telling the stories about that. And I was like, it just matters how far you want to go. They looked at us, they looked at me, and they said, that isn't appropriate. And I was like, what? I didn't say anything wrong. I wasn't making fun of anybody or anything like that. I wasn't calling anybody gay or anything like that. But it was not okay. And I was like, okay, cool. One button I don't push. Don't push the gay button. I learned that. Well, I kept going on, and at work, they said, how'd your day going? I said, I just want to start a shotgun. I got reported to HR immediately.
Yeah, that dark humor. I feel like it's like you didn't feel like
I mean,
Yeah.
most of our
And
discords are like that, though. That's the issue too, right? Like we go in there and tell
Yeah.
each other, "Go fuck yourselves," like instantly.
Yeah.
yeah,
Dark
but
humor is good. Yeah.
it's one of those things that you gotta stop yourself now, because some people they take it the wrong way, and that wasn't even the worst one. That wasn't even the worst of it. The next day, look, the guy, he was this honestly good looking man, awesome. He was chill, funny, everything like that, and just making a joke. It's like, yo, I'd suck your dick. HR. I wasn't being serious. It was just like, a term of endearment. Like, it was a term like, hey, dude, you look fucking good. If I was into you, I'd suck your dick. But, they didn't take it that way. And I went back to HR and they said, you can't hit on your coworkers. And I said, I was like, I'm not homo. It was like, they looked at me and like, what was your job before this? I was in the military.
It makes sense.
Put their head down. Just put their head down and said, I'm not writing this down, but you might want to find a job in labor or in something like that to where you won't be here that much. I was like, okay.
I just kind of want
to. I asked him, do y'all have a rule book or something that tells you what I can and can't say? It's like, yes, it was in your intro is in your fishing letter. I was like, cool. I went back through it, read it all, came back to him. I was like, I don't know if I can work here. I don't know if I can.
I don't want to
go for it.
Going back into the civilian world, you're talking like normal stuff.
Well, no, because even our Discord, we're civilians, right? We aren't. So lots of us haven't been in the military. We don't know what that's like, but we just have that sense to us, like we joke around like that. It's not everyone does that, not everyone is okay with that. Even in Discords, like you really have to be careful.
Discord, people are have to
exactly.
They can use humor. They can use shitty sense of humor, whatever you want to.
It's because of the anonymity that Discord and internet provides, like keyboard warriors from hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's you can put this mask on and be this person that you want to fucking be, and you got a guy. You don't have to worry about the guidelines. Like if they kick you out, I'm gonna go join another Discord and
repercussions. Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong.
The repercussions are they get kicked out of Discord. Yeah. And they find another one.
Yeah, exactly.
There's millions of Discords people can be a part of.
I'm definitely not saying it like that there, but it's still it is a civilian place, like all of us aren't going to take the dark humor the same way, right? I'm not saying you can't just go join another one, but you miss out on all those people who you were just with, right? You're still losing stuff by that happening. Like I'm not fighting that, it's not different. It is different, but not every Discord you can go in and be like that, and you can lose people because of that there, right?
Yeah, I get that. Everyone has a different sense of humor, and to me, how I see it is some people are more sensitive to certain subjects than others, and their perspective on it is more personal or emotional. They have an emotional attachment to it. When it's like dark humor and like you know me, Raider. I'm more of like I love dark humor. I also love sexual humor. I'm a bit of both worlds, and some people might find that abrasive, I guess would be a word for it, or offensive. Very strong, offensive, strong. They might come off like too strong or something like that. And that's why when I kind of try to read the room first before I start making jokes or making like sexual jokes or dark jokes. Usually it's more sexual jokes than anything else. And it's never towards someone specifically. It's more of a broader statement. So I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. I'm with someone, obviously, so I respect her in that sense. And I'm never going to hit on someone else. I'm not going to be like, yeah, I want to do this to you or do that to you. But I am going to make a joke here and there because that's me, and that's also her. We make those jokes because that's just our nature.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times you're going to see people not like that, and that's perfectly fine. That's their prerogative. If they don't want to agree with that or even be a part of that, then that's fine. You have the option to either just leave the conversation, not get involved with it, or avoid that subject.
That's kind of where I was going with that. They're like, there's still repercussions to it. It's just not as fatal of a repercussion as if it was like a workplace, like, because we are civilians, we are all different, like, yeah, there isn't an HR or whatever, but like there is mods in Discord, if something goes really badly, right, they're going to go to those mods about it, and then there will be repercussions still. There's still that same issue that could happen, is all I'm trying to get at.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm pretty sure Texas and me are saying on the same point is, say you're brand new and you coming in hot and you don't know these people from Adam, and you just straight up go off the deep end, like sexist jokes, racist jokes, dark humor, everything that off the bat. You get kicked and you think to yourself, I'm gonna join another Discord. Join another one. Next one, you tone it down a little bit. It's a learned trait to get to that point where it's the anonymity where you can be yourself and know that you're not going to have to worry about getting kicked out or anything like that. Yes, there's repercussions kind of to the point where you deal with mods, everything like that. But honestly, in real life, fuck them. That's not going to affect my real life. I'll go somewhere else. That's all I got to do. And so he wasn't saying that there's no repercussions. He's saying that they can put that mask on and be whoever they fucking want to be. And then once they log out of Discord, they can be, a mom or a dad or a kid, or it could be a kid and you don't know because you're typing it out. I'm not talking about just in voice chat. I'm talking about typing out everything like that too. So, honestly, it's not, to me, being behind a mask is great and all if you need that to make yourself feel better for your confidence. And it might build you up confidently to one day you're like that in real life, to where you can get to where you want to be. Honestly, I fucking hate it. I hate it. Yeah. I hate the fucking internet like that because, you got some guy on the other side of the country commenting on your stuff saying, fuck you, or you look fat, or I wouldn't do that if I was you because, you're a bad parent. Things like that. And they don't got kids. They don't even want kids. They just want to say it. And they're safe. They're safe. Nobody's going to go to their house and say, and confront them. Nobody's going to do that.
Yeah, there's that. There's other examples too. For a lot of women, they'll do with sexual harassment a lot of the times because again, a person, usually an immature man or a boy, I guess, is on the internet and there's no repercussions for their actions. They can be typing all this nasty shit and being really creepy and perverted to women online, and that has a negative effect to them because again, there's no repercussions to that. They'll get kicked, they'll get banned, but okay, they'll just find another person to do it to. Well, okay. Whereas there's no negatives to it.
Real repercussions for it. I understand what you're saying there too. Maybe just the way I took what he said was out of context a little bit, but the way I perceived it was that way, right? Like there still is consequences for your actions, even in Discords. Even that's the way I perceived it, though, right? And that could have been completely different from how he meant for it to come out. But everyone perceives stuff differently too.
That's the point. They're having a conversation, so you get better understanding. So you understand everybody differently.
Now, Texas, you've been quiet for a few minutes. Do you have anything else to say? Want to add?
I think his brain's smoking. Texas.
Can y'all not hear me?
Yeah, I think his brain's smoking. Well, now's the part of the show where we take live questions and just shoot them in. Whatever you want. We'll answer them. Oh, he's back. He's back. No, he's not.
Maybe not. Who knows?
Okay.
Your brain's smoking?
Can hear me?
I get that.
I've been talking this whole time.
Let's go up here. See what happens.
Hello. Can anybody hear me?
Lost Raptor baby. That's funny. So there we go.
Hello.
Fresh.
Hello.
You better not. Nobody got any live questions? Let's come over here to Discord. Let's see what we got in here. Hell yeah.
Hello.
There he's back.
He's alive.
Oh man, I've been talking this whole time.
Your word you said.
No, I was saying I'm sorry you perceived it that way, but I'm just terrible.
No, I'm not saying there's anything. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with how you said it, right? It's just the way everyone perceives stuff differently. So I could have misread the way you were reading it, right, or the way that you were putting it out, and that's
I'm
all
a
I was
blunt
going for.
dickhead.
And I'm sorry.
I'm a blunt dickhead. You ain't
You're
gotta
not a.
apologize.
You're fine. I'm Canadian. I'm going to apologize no matter what. You got to figure that.
Yeah, you damn polite people.
He's from Canada. Oh Lord. So yeah, Texas. You got anything else you want to say, dude? Texas.
And we can go on, or
Okay.
I'm here right now. Can we hear Texas?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we
you
hear
know,
Texas?
Yeah.
we
We
hear
can
you.
hear you.
My God. This is gonna be my last podcast.
Like I said, we'll send you that computer out, and then we got you. Like I said,
This is
anything,
terrible.
anything y'all want to talk about?
I guess one thing I have is, does your fears ever really bring down your confidence for you guys?
My fears, they
Every
bring
day.
down my confidence. Sometimes I worry that I'm gonna fail, fall flat on my face, and then it's not gonna go so well. And I won't be able to get back up. But like I said, I got that fuck it mentality that says, fuck it, I'm gonna go balls to the walls until I fall flat on my goddamn face.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like everyone has a fear. There's not one single person on this earth that is not gonna have a fear. Fear of failure, fear of whatever. It's how you act after that fear, after going through that fear. Whether it's going through, me with heights, or venturing into a new area that's the unknown, or how I'm going to react to that, or whoever else has got whatever fear they have. It's just a matter of what you're going to do with that fear. You're going to let it control you, or you're going to control it.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming with that there, but I know fear can affect your confidence quite a bit, right? Like for me, with being cheated on for every relationship I've been in, right? I have a huge fear of getting in another relationship now, right? Because my thought is, oh God, they're gonna cheat on me. They're gonna do this, and it's hard to get over that, which brings down my confidence because it makes me feel like, am I not good enough, right? That's a huge thing now. Am I not good enough? Is that why I'm getting cheated on? Because that's what pops in my head after that,
Honestly, I'm gonna tell you this: you can get cheated on because the women that you choose that cheat on you, they ain't shit.
No, they ain't worth my time.
I'll be honest. They're not shit. They don't have the mentality to have a healthy relationship. They don't have the grind to want to build something. They want something that's fast, easy, quick, things like that. So fuck them. Don't put yourself down.
Reel it in.
No, don't put yourself down for somebody that's not gonna appreciate your effort, time, and love and attention. Don't bring yourself down.
And I can kind of, through experience, I've never been cheated on, but my last ex, she was cheated on, and she allowed that to affect the relationship I had with her for 10 years. 10 years, she never gave me, the benefit of the doubt to trust me. And it's like I've proven, being with you for that 10 years. And I get it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to trust the person, that since you've dealt with those emotional traumas, but you're going to have to dig deep and find a way to deal with it somehow at some point, either over time, however you may be able to manage it. But yeah.
And that's something I am definitely working on even today. Because even with friends, right? It's hard for me to trust friends now because of that stuff, right? I know it wasn't a relationship, because it's a relationship, but not that kind of relationship. You know what I mean? So definitely me talking to Raider is a huge thing for me. Opening up to him. When I open up to you, it means I trust you, and that is not an easy thing for me to do with a lot of people. And I'm working on that. Like I've been used, cheated on, hurt, right? And getting over that isn't an easy thing.
No, it's not. It's not going to be easy.
Definitely, I'm working on myself, making myself better. I'm finally getting to that point where I'm starting to let more people into my life again, like obviously, when I popped into this Discord, I've known you before, obviously, Savage, and letting you back in a little bit now, right? And then, Satan, Texas, I met just today, I think, actually. And even just talking to him right here, I feel a bit vulnerable because I have talked about a lot of my life, which I wouldn't normally do, right? But it's that thing where I'm trying to gain that confidence by getting this stuff out, trying to trust people more, and trying not to hoping I don't get hurt by them now. You know what I mean?
Yep, I get that.
Yeah. Y'all want to hear something nerdy and dorky and stupid?
You're talking to Savage and me. We're
Hey, I'm in for that too.
Well.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's hear it.
So, without divulging too much childhood trauma, I'm a big comic book fan. I like DC comics. Those are my favorite.
Nice.
See, I'm a Marvel guy.
Just like everybody else. Just like everybody else is about to find out. Batman is my guy.
I got a question for you.
Go.
What did you think about the new Batman movie that came out?
I loved it.
It's probably my favorite one, actually.
Robert
Really?
Pattinson? Yeah.
I liked it from the investigator standpoint because he's supposed to be the world's greatest detective, but I felt like it came up a little short for what I was expecting.
You expecting more action out of it?
I expected just a little bit more action, and you know what I mean?
I kind of get that from the older movies, how they were set up a bit more. I understand where you're coming with that one, Raider.
Yeah.
It's I liked it. I liked it for what it was. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So I didn't have the highest expectations. I didn't think it was going to be bad, but I didn't think it was going to be like amazing either. So it actually turned out to be really good for me. Not to get too like in depth of it, but it's his early years as Batman. So he's just learning how to fight. He's learning how to be a detective. He's new. He's not like he's not the
seasoned veteran.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So my honest opinion, first watch through, I was like, that's not bad, but I wanted more. Watched it again, it's like, okay, it grew on me.
Yeah.
So
that car he had.
Yeah. He doesn't have all his gadgets yet. True. So this was supposed to be an hour long. We've been doing this for 2 hours.
That's good. I like that. I personally like podcasts to be around 2 to 3 hours because you get to know the people more. Within an hour, it's kind of hard to get everyone's like the feel for everyone.
Yeah.
So that's just me though, but yeah.
I appreciate y'all for coming on. All right, Texas. Thank you. Giver, thank you as well. I appreciate that. Or Josh, sorry.
No, it's all good. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate that. Like, just getting the chance to be here, honestly, is a huge honor.
Thank you. All right, everybody.
It was a good time. I'm sorry about my crap internet.
Nah, we'll get you fixed up. We'll get you fixed up soon enough, okay? We'll get you fixed up soon enough. When you make your move, we're going to get you all set up. All right.
Get it.
New episode of the podcast is out now. We recorded it live last week. It came out this morning. And the merch store's live. So you want to go grab some gear? Grab some fucking gear. It looks sweet.
It does. It looks nice.
And you don't want to miss Friday's live. It's going to be very, very interesting. You're going to see some returning guests. You're going to see some new guests. And you're going to meet the boss lady behind it. The boss lady likes to drive me to insanity sometimes. This ain't lie. His fiance. Because she's a slave driver. She's
that just sounds horrible.
Driver. So much worse.
All right.
God damn.
Thank y'all for joining. I appreciate y'all. This live recording will go up Tuesday. So have a great day.
Thank you for having me, buddy.